For more than half a century, the Porsche 911 has been one of the most respected sports cars in the world. It has dominated racetracks, it has become a collector's icon, and it has built a reputation as one of the greatest performance cars ever created. But underneath its timeless shape lies one of the strangest engineering decisions in automotive history. Because the Porsche 911 places its engine somewhere most engineers would never dare to put it: behind the rear axle. In most cars, the engine sits in the front of the vehicle, between the front wheels. In mid-engine sports cars, the engine is placed near the center of the car to keep the weight balanced. But the 911, its engine hangs almost entirely behind the rear wheels. And according to conventional automotive engineering, that layout should be a disaster. When too much weight sits behind the rear axle, a car can become unstable. During hard cornering, the rear of the vehicle wants to swing outward. Drivers call it oversteer. And if it happens suddenly, the car can spin before the driver even has time to react. For decades, engineers have tried to avoid this problem by placing the engine closer to the center of the car. Balanced weight distribution means predictable handling. It's why so many high-performance cars, from Ferraris to Lamborghinis, use mid-engine layouts. Yet Porsche did the exact opposite. Instead of moving the engine forward, they left it behind the rear axle, exactly where it creates the most imbalance. On paper, it makes no sense, and when the first 911 appeared in the early 1960s, many engineers believed the design would never survive. Some critics even predicted the car would be dangerous. But something unexpected happened. Instead of failing, the 911 slowly became one of the most successful sports cars ever built. Today, the design has survived for more than 60 years, through countless generations, through hundreds of racing victories, through millions of miles driven on roads all over the world, and somehow, that strange engine placement never disappeared. Which raises a fascinating question. If the design breaks one of the most basic rules of automotive engineering, why did Porsche build the 911 this way in the first place? And more importantly, how did they make it work? To understand why the Porsche 911 places its engine behind the rear axle, you have to go back to the very beginning of the company itself. Long before the 911 became a global icon, Porsche was a small engineering firm trying to build lightweight sports cars in post-war Europe. And the philosophy behind those cars was simple: keep things light, keep things simple, and place as much weight as possible over the driven wheels. This approach first appeared in Porsche's earliest production car, the Porsche 356. The 356 was a small, nimble sports car introduced in 1948. Unlike most cars of its time, its engine sat at the very back of the vehicle. That design gave the car excellent traction, especially when accelerating out of corners. The weight of the engine pressed down on the rear tires, allowing them to grip the road more effectively. For a lightweight sports car with relatively modest power, that extra traction made a noticeable difference. But the rear engine layout also came with its own set of challenges. If a driver entered a corner too aggressively, the rear heavy balance could quickly overwhelm the tires. When that happened, the back of the car could swing outward with surprising speed. It required skill, patience, and respect to drive the car quickly. But in the hands of experienced drivers, the little Porsche proved something important. The unusual layout could be fast, very fast. By the late 1950s, the Porsche 356 had already begun building a reputation in motorsport. And as the company looked towards the future, engineers began developing a successor, a car that would be more powerful, more refined, and capable of competing on a much larger stage. That car would become the Porsche 911. When the 911 debuted in 1964, it carried forward many of the same principles that defined the 356: a compact design, a lightweight body, and most importantly, the engine remained in the rear. At the time, some observers wondered why Porsche didn't take the opportunity to move the engine forward and create a more balanced car. After all, by the 1960s, many manufacturers were beginning to understand the advantages of mid-engine sports cars. But Porsche saw things differently. They believed the rear engine layout was not a flaw to eliminate. It was a characteristic to refine. Instead of abandoning the design, Porsche engineers committed themselves to improving it. Suspension geometry was adjusted. Weight distribution was carefully tuned. And the car's handling characteristics were gradually shaped. Over time, the result was something unique. A sports car that behaved differently from anything else on the road. A car that rewarded drivers who understood its personality. And while other manufacturers chased perfect balance, Porsche was quietly learning how to turn an engineering disadvantage into a defining advantage. By the late 1960s, one thing had become clear. The rear engine layout of the Porsche 911 wasn't going away. Instead of redesigning the car entirely, Porsche engineers chose a far more difficult path. They decided to master it. To understand how they did that, you first have to understand what makes the rear engine layout so unusual. In a typical sports car, weight is distributed more evenly between the front and rear wheels. This balance helps the car rotate smoothly through corners. But in the 911, the engine places a large percentage of the car's weight over the rear axle. In early models, nearly 60% of the weight sat behind the driver. That imbalance could create unpredictable behavior during aggressive driving. Enter a corner too fast, lift off the throttle suddenly, and the rear of the car could snap sideways. Drivers described the experience as thrilling, but also unforgiving. Porsche's solution wasn't to remove the problem. It was to carefully reshape the way the car behaved. One of the most important changes involved the suspension. Over the years, Porsche engineers refined the geometry of the rear suspension again and again. Each generation of the 911 introduced subtle improvements designed to stabilize the car during high-speed cornering. As the technology evolved, the suspension allowed the rear wheels to maintain better contact with the road. That meant more grip and more predictable handling. Another crucial factor was the car's wheelbase. As new generations of the 911 were introduced, Porsche gradually lengthened the wheelbase of the car. This small change helped reduce the tendency for sudden oversteer while maintaining the agility that drivers loved. But perhaps the most important advantage of the rear engine layout was something Porsche had recognized from the very beginning: traction. Because the engine sat directly above the driven wheels, the rear tires had tremendous grip when accelerating. When exiting a corner, the weight pressing down on the rear wheels allowed the 911 to put power to the road extremely efficiently. In racing, this advantage became especially important. While mid-engine cars often struggled to apply power when exiting tight corners, the 911 could launch itself forward with surprising authority. And as engine power increased through the decades, Porsche continued refining the chassis to maintain control. Electronic stability systems were added, advanced suspension technologies were developed, and aerodynamic improvements helped stabilize the car at high speeds. By the time modern versions of the 911 began appearing, the once controversial rear engine layout had become one of the car's greatest strengths. Cars like the Porsche 911 GT3 could attack racetracks with incredible precision, delivering performance that rivaled the best mid-engine supercars in the world. What once seemed like an engineering mistake had become something far more interesting: a design philosophy. And perhaps the most remarkable part of the story is this: even after 60 years of evolution, Porsche still refuses to move the engine. By now, you might be wondering something. If the rear engine layout created so many challenges, why didn't Porsche eventually abandon it? After all, Other manufacturers were already moving toward more balanced designs. Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren. Most high-performance sports cars today place their engines in the middle of the car, where weight can be distributed more evenly between the front and rear wheels. On paper, it's the logical solution. But Porsche was never interested in building the same kind of car as everyone else. For them, the rear engine layout had become something more than a technical decision. It had become the personality of the car itself. Driving a Porsche 911 doesn't feel like driving other sports cars. The steering feels different. The weight shifts differently. The car rotates through corners in a way that experienced drivers immediately recognize. It has a character that's uniquely Porsche, and over the decades, that character became part of the car's identity. Instead of chasing perfect balance, Porsche focused on refining what made the 911 special. Every new generation introduced improvements: better suspension, more sophisticated aerodynamics, stronger brakes, more precise steering. Yet through all those changes, the fundamental layout remained untouched. Even today, modern versions like the Porsche 992 still carry the same basic architecture that first appeared more than 60 years ago. The engine is still mounted behind the rear axle. The silhouette is still instantly recognizable, and the driving experience still feels unmistakably like a 911. In an industry where designs often change dramatically from decade to decade, that kind of continuity is rare. But it's also part of the reason the 911 has survived for so long, because what once looked like an engineering compromise eventually became something far more powerful: a tradition, a philosophy, a signature. Today, the Porsche 911 remains one of the most successful sports cars ever created. Millions have been built, thousands have raced, and generations of drivers have learned to appreciate the very trait that once seemed like a mistake. The engine may be in the wrong place, but somehow, it's exactly where it belongs.